Hello everyone, this is Isaac White from the Crockett Tavern Museum. Now, about a month ago, my wife and I, as well as our good friend Nola Chucky Fred, were fortunate enough to go to the spring rendezvous at none other than historic Martin Station just off the Wilderness Road in the beautiful state of Virginia. If you've never been to Martin Station, I would highly encourage you go. The backdrop is absolutely gorgeous, and the fort and the cabins and shops surrounding it are immaculate. And of course the staff are wonderful. The rangers are very knowledgeable, very friendly. So if you want to go to a place where you feel like you're stepping back in time, Martin Station is the place to be. Now, of course, I previously mentioned them little gatherings or rendezvous they have, and this one back in May is pretty special to me because I was able to snag some interviews with some of the more notable, although some of them they would say more notorious, historians, reenactors, impressionists, etc., etc. And it was quite a thrill getting to sit down, talk to, interview these people, pick their brains a little bit, and learn a little bit more of history as a whole. So, suffice it to say, this is something that was definitely a big win for me. It's something that's made quite an impact on myself, and I would like to be able to share those interviews, those moments with you, our friends and supporters. So with that being said, hopefully you'll be kind enough to follow us along for these next few videos on Friday as we listen to the voices of Martin Station. Hello everyone, this is Isaac White from the Crockett Tavern Museum. Although we're not in Morristown, we are at Martin Station just outside of Ewing, Virginia, and boy howdy do we have a treat for you viewers. We have a very special guest, Mr. John Townsend. How are you doing, Mr. Townsend?
I'm doing really well.
Well, all I can say is thank you very much for doing this for me, and especially it might help out the Tavern channel in some way, shape, or form.
Exactly.
So, Mr. Townsend, if you wouldn't mind just briefly explaining for those who might not know, kind of who you are and what it is you do.
Well, I help run a business that sells reenacting goods to historic sites, movies, and reenactors, and I've been doing that for, I don't know, 30, 35 years. It's a business my father started back in 1973. And for the last 15 years, I've done a YouTube channel that has educated people on cooking and the lifestyle of folks in the 18th century. So anybody who's lived from, say, 1750 to about 1830, we cover all that kind of time period and discuss not only what they would eat, but what they would wear and how they would live. So we've built dugout canoes and log cabins, as well as lots and lots of cooking episodes.
Wow, I mean, it seems like you guys have done it all, huh?
We've done a lot of different things, and gotten a lot of feedback from people so that we kind of get an idea about what the audience is interested in and what they want to see.
Yeah. I have to say, probably out of all the projects you guys have done, the one that is my personal favorite, I think it might be my dad's as well, is the log cabin build that you guys did. And just to watch you hacking down the trees out of the forest and from the ground up building that cabin, the insulating, everything was just phenomenal. And you did it in period attire as well.
Sure. Yeah, for the most part, I mean, all the construction that was there in the cabin itself was done in the 18th century techniques. We did harvest some trees in a more modern sense, but it took a long time. I mean, we were probably finding the right kinds of trees for 18 months and bringing them onto site. So it took quite a while, and it was one of those projects you think, well, this isn't gonna, I mean, they would do this in 3 or 4 weeks' time. They'd have their cabin, they'd be living in it. It takes a long time in this day and age to get that kind of thing done. So, especially when you have to harvest trees from a long way away. We might have to go 20 miles to get the right kind of trees that we needed, whereas in the 18th century they would have just used the trees that were right on the site they had all those trees available to them. We don't necessarily have that today, so definitely a more difficult thing.
I started to say, I mean, of course, with the power of editing, you guys made it look so easy, but you do hear sometimes, I think you and maybe Ryan or some of the others got frustrated, and we hear you griping a little bit off camera, which is adds some humor.
And it was a learning process, right? So at first you're thinking, oh, I'm going to do it this way, and you find out that isn't going to work at all. We did have some different types of trees to work with, and some of them are so hard or so heavy you couldn't really use them. And so there was a lot of learning. We had a lot of fun.
I mean, it turned out great, though.
Yeah.
Do you guys often stay in that cabin?
Well, we use it for shoots. It still does really, really well. We put different roofing on it because we originally did roofing that was intended to be the roofing they used on a short-term cabin, and then we made a longer-term roof for it. So yeah, it's still in good shape.
Wow, that's wonderful. So backtracking just a little bit. So you said that your dad had started the store, correct? And then was he the reason you got started in all of this, or was there another source of inspiration?
Well, I grew up in the hobby, basically. Right?
Oh, okay.
So, when I was 7 or 8 years old, Dad started the business. So I was used to, this was the kind of thing people did when you were a kid. This is what you do, right? And now I went to school for something different, but I ended up back in the family business and running it for all these years now.
Wow. So that's just wonderful, though, especially to be able to grow up in that environment. It really nurtures it. And, if I may, the reason I got into all this is my dad.
Sure.
And so there's a connection there.
Yeah.
And he was big into history, primarily Civil War.
Right.
But, on Sundays while my brother was watching football, he and we were watching Fess Parker's Davy Crockett.
Exactly.
If you can't tell.
Yeah.
So it's wonderful when you have that parent connection where they can nurture you and help to feed your aspirations. I think it's wonderful. Yeah. And unfortunately, a lot of kids these days, they don't quite get that.
Right. It's a wonderful thing to pass down from generation to generation. It's not only are we passing it down one generation, but we're also passing it down from 5 and 6 generations back, right? So we're looking at how people lived 200 years ago, and how does that affect our lives today, and what was better, what was worse, what can we learn out of that?
Yeah. So you mentioned the cooking channel,
Mm-hmm.
and I think for a lot of people who do know you, that was kind of their introduction to
Sure.
you. And I can certainly attest to that. I come across, I think the first video I ever watched of you guys was you were doing one on pemmican.
Yeah.
And that really just kind of got the whole ball rolling. Between you and Simeon England, y'all were the reason why I started looking into getting into this time period, diverging away from Civil War. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
It's turned out great. But I do have to ask, so I know this is going to be kind of a hard question, but out of all the cooking episodes you've done, what would you say is probably your favorite of all time?
Since I've done so many of them, and I've enjoyed the majority of them, it's really hard to pick out something that is, my favorite. There are a lot of surprising ones, ones that people talk about a lot. The onion pie episode, or where we make mushroom ketchup. I think mushroom ketchup is one of those ones where that's probably one of the most surprising ones, and the ones that I would come back to over and over again. And one that just about anybody can do, and it's not something we make today. Right?
No.
So those I think are the ones that kind of pull people in, and some of them are just exactly like what we would do today, or with a little twist. The macaroni and cheese is really good from the 18th century, right? So there's some great episodes and some ones that are just stand out just because they're a little different. The pemmican is fun to do. So yeah.
So and you talk about how some of it is very similar to some of what we do today, but it might be a little more primitive. It might be surprisingly more advanced. I think one that it reminded me of a bloomin' onion, but it was so simple, yet, I mean, who doesn't love a good onion?
Right.
And the recipe for it was simply 2 roast or bake the oven.
Bake the onion, yeah.
So, you know, and I tried that. I found it pretty good, but what was your personal takeaway on that?
Oh, I think they're tremendous for as quick and easy and tasty, and would have been very, very inexpensive in the time period.
Yes. So, still kind of keeping in the theme of the cooking, I do have to ask, I'd be remiss if I didn't. Out of all the recipes you've done, what would you, or possibly, you know, I know you and Michael Dragoo, y'all work together sometimes. What would possibly be the worst dish you've tasted so far?
Well, I mean, there was that one crab one, which just didn't. Michael, it's not my fault. I don't bring in episodes like that. But yeah, there was this stewed crab that just. And Ryan even came back to that episode and tried to do another one where he fixed it, and it still didn't fix. It just did not work out. So, and there are some recipes that are almost like you guys are pulling my chain, right? You can't actually cook it like this. There are some that don't work. I've tried one that was called, what was it? It was something like roasted butter. And it was like, you can't. And it didn't. I tried it. I spent hours working on that. Didn't work out.
I mean, how do you go about roasting
exactly.
butter?
Exactly. Well, you take butter and you put it on a spit, and you put like crumbs over it or flour over it, and it's supposed to slowly, the butter leaks out into it, and you keep, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Honestly, that just sounds way too complicated.
It is. Some things aren't worth it, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I will say that every recipe that I've tried from y'all's channel has been, you know, nothing short of amazing.
Good.
I think by far, I know for a fact my wife's favorite is lobscouse.
Yeah,
that one
is
is fantastic.
Good. Yeah.
And I found out that if you make the lobscouse and then you make a loaf of Irish soda bread to go along with it, oh, you're in
there you
heaven.
go. Yeah.
The meat pies, those are wonderful all the time. My dad, he swears they're better than KFC pot pies.
There you go. There you go.
So, but you know, I think that what you guys do on the channel is just wonderful. And you know, I come across you guys, golly, I think it was back in 2019. So I haven't been with you since the beginning, but I've been with y'all for a long time. You know, supporting the channel and all. And what you guys keep doing is not only just so important and so wonderful, but to see how the quality has just continued to improve. You'd think that, especially with like the dugout build or the cabin build or, you know, all these different recipes, you guys would have tapped out, but somehow you still keep coming up with new videos.
We just keep doing it. I don't know.
And they get better each time.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And I just have to say, John, that, sorry, Mr. Townsend, try to be formal for you. But I just have to say this has been an absolute thrill to get to, you know, to meet you, to interview you. I know we met last year, but to get to do this with someone like yourself, you know, it's a big notch in my, you know, in my belt. So
it's been great to meet you. It's been great to talk.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Townsend, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Well, folks, I hope you all enjoyed that. And if you haven't, for whatever reason, if you're living under a rock and you haven't seen this man's channel, what is the name of it?
Just search for Townsend's, and you'll find us.
There you go. So if you love the 18th century or even the early 19th century, want to learn more about it, want to try some new recipes, spice things up a little bit, check their channel out. I promise you, you will not regret it. But with that being said, this is Isaac White and Mr. Townsend. We're going to sign off for now, and we're going to say goodbye and God bless.
You too.